everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie and I am a beautiful mess, officially. Here on my channel, I like to do a lot of project panning content, eyeshadow content, and really any other kind of makeup content that I can think of. So if that sounds good to you, sit back, relax, and come on a magical makeup journey with me. Today's episode is going to be my first update to my deck of panning Project Pan. So if you'd like to see my progress on the products that I pulled last month, well, technically 2 weeks ago, and if I have any rollouts, and if I do, what cards I'm going to pull, well then stay right there. We're going to jump right into it. So like I said, today is going to be my first update for my deck of panning Project Pan. This project was created by Emily from Emily and Max, who took inspiration from a booktuber called Books with Maddie. All of their info is going to be in the description box down below. If you're not familiar with deck of panning, this is a game board style project pan where we use a deck of cards, which I have the Wicked cards. Love the Wicked cards. And Emily gives us a game board that she shuffles monthly. We pick a card and then take a look at the game board to see what prompt we get, and then pick a product that corresponds to that prompt. So let's start with what cards I pulled last month. I keep saying last month. This project does update monthly and runs from January 20th all the way down to December 20th, but I was late jumping into this. So my first update I recorded on March 6th, and it went up that Saturday of that week, and it gave me 14 days to be able to do my first update, which is fine. I just wanted to get back on the same filming schedule as everybody else was, and this way I would only miss one update this year, which I am absolutely okay with. So let's take a look and see what products I pulled 2 weeks ago. So the first card that I pulled in this project this year was the Joker. And the Joker stands for, are you joking? Basically, are you kidding me? You're supposed to pick something that you don't want to pan. Now, we don't do hate panning here, so this could mean something that you hold near and dear to your heart, something that you don't use very much because you like to save it for special occasions, and now I'm forced to use it, which is probably for my own good. So against my will, I picked a Pat McGrath palette. This is the Mothership Utopian Dream palette. That is what she is looking like. And I decided I was going to do no pan left behind on this, and then hit a pan in this project. So do it project level up style, level 1 project level up. So let me show you what my progress has been on this. So I have used every shade in the palette except for these two right here, and then this pink one right here, and this purple one right here. I did do one look with this palette, and I will pop that up on whatever side that I have room for. And then I have to pick a shade that I want to hit pan in, and I think I'm gonna cheat since this is my first time panning a Pat McGrath palette, and I'm going to go for this shade right here, which I technically tend to use for an inner corner shade or a brow bone highlight shade. This kind of shade usually comes in every Pat McGrath palette, so I'm not gonna be too, I shouldn't say upset. Using your makeup should not upset you, Marie. We're supposed to be using our makeup, not saving it for special occasions. This palette is very heavy. I'm having a hard time finding a way to hold it. But since this is my first time hitting a pan in a Pat McGrath palette, I'm going to be choosing this one right here because honestly, I tend to be reaching for it quite a lot anyways, because the palettes I've been using lately don't have an inner corner highlight. So this will be staying in the project. Usually Jokers are long haul products. So This is going to be staying in. I anticipate by next month I'll have used every shade in the palettes, and we'll see how long it takes me to hit pan on this inner corner highlight shade here. The second card that I pulled was for the 3 of Spades, and that corresponded to the prompt Cool Tone. So I decided to pull into this project a new to me lipstick. This is the MAC Maximal Satin Lipstick, and this is in the color Flesh Pot. And I did not anticipate how much I was going to love this shade. It really comes off a little bit pinky. I think you can see there in the swatch. And it's definitely my go-to shade where I'm wearing like light ethereal looks. And I didn't realize how much I was going to love this. I put this in the project for a 10 use goal. I almost made it to rolling it out. I have 6 uses on this, so that means I have 4 more uses to go. But absolutely enjoying using this, and I probably will continue to use this through the spring because this is absolutely one of my favorite lipsticks now in my collection. The third card that I drew last time was for the Ace of Spades, and that corresponded to the prompt Baby Goal. And I picked something that I thought was going to be a baby goal. I brought in my Westman Atelier. This is just a sample of their bronzer, blush, and highlighter. And I was anticipating that I was going to finish this. 2 weeks to finish a sample, that's easy. Not so much. So this is what the sample looks like now. I did use up all of the bronzer shade in Biscuit. I have more to use in the shade Petal, which is the blush, and the highlighter, which is Lit. And let me actually turn this around for you so you can see how much I have used. It took me 6 uses to use up the shade Biscuits, and I've used each of these 7 times and they're still going. So I thought this was going to be an easy baby goal for me, an easy rollout, but they're proving stubborn. So this is going to be in the project for another month. But if I had a full month to be able to work on this, I think I could have gotten this out. The fourth card that I drew was the 9 of Spades, and that corresponded to the prompt of Metallic. So I rolled in my e.l.f. liquid eyeshadow in the shade Flirty Birdie, because this was really the only thing in my collection that reminded me of anything metallic. Reminds me of Copper Pennies. She's a little bit dry because I did pull the stopper out, but I really want to try to use this up before it's unusable anymore. So I figured I would pull this into this project. I did pull this in for a 10 use goal, and I only used it once. And I didn't even use it on top of my eyeshadow as a topper. I actually used this as a glitter liner, and I really liked it for that. I just did not gravitate towards reaching for this. I was concentrating on a lot of green and gold looks, which this is a little bit more coppery and really didn't go with what I was trying to do for the build up until St. Patrick's Day. So this might be a little bit harder than I think. I've got 9 more uses to go on this. Hopefully I can power through and continue to wear it as a glitter liner, because that seemed to work really well, but not every single one of my looks calls for a glitter liner. So we'll see how long this takes me to get my 10 uses on. And then the 5th card that I pulled was for the 8 of Spades, and that corresponded to the prompt "in it for the long haul." Because of course I got the Joker and "in it for the long haul" on my introductory video after coming back after almost a year. Of course I did. Welcome back to Deck of Panning. So I decided to pull in my e.l.f. blush in the shade Blushing. I'll put the picture up of what this was looking like last month, and then the picture of it broken because I had used it. I only used it 5 times in the last 2 weeks, and in those 5 uses, it started to break up around the sides, so I needed to repress it. Coming into the project, this was weighing 16.68 grams. Before repressing, it was weighing 16.13 grams. And I actually did a very good job at repressing, because after repressing and it dried, it still weighed 16.13 grams. For a total of 0.55 grams in the last 2 weeks. And this is what she is looking like now after repressing. I wasn't going to sit there and try to use it broken, because that is just no fun. Technically there's a pan on it, but I'm not counting the edges there. We'll see how long it takes me to re-hit pan and how long this is going to take me to finish up, because that is my goal. And it for the long haul, I would love to be able to finish up a blush this year. I finished up a blush last year. So, if I averaged 1 blush a year, then, I can buy blush again in 40 years. But this is going to continue to stay in the project. So I did not hit any of my goals this month, but like I said, if I had the full month instead of just the 2 weeks, definitely I would have finished up the Westman Atelier sample, and I would have finished up the MAC lipstick goal as well. So I'm going to count that as 2 cards being rolled in this month, because I know if I had 2 more weeks, I would have been able to hit my goals on those products. So for fun, we're going to roll in 2 new products today. So like I said, this is my Wicked deck, which it was very wicked to me last week. Because the very first card I drew was the Joker, but we're not afraid of the Joker. We're gonna put that in the deck once again, and then I'm going to shuffle this up while you take a look at the game board for this month. So the face cards always stay the same, whereas the numbered cards change monthly. Emily does go in monthly and randomize the numbered cards for this game. So take a quick peek. I have not looked at the game board yet, so you are actually seeing it before I am as I shuffle. And that should be good. Shuffle a little bit more. And one more. One more for good luck. All right, I am going to cut the deck like so. We're gonna take the first 2 cards off the top of the deck. A little bit nervous. Card number 1. This is the 8 of Diamonds. The 8 of Diamonds corresponds to the prompt copycat. Let me take a look and see what that actually means. So copycat means a product that you have seen someone else panning. I'm gonna have to really think about that and see what product I wanna pull in. And then card number 2. Card number 2 is the Jack of Hearts. And the Jack of Hearts corresponds to indie product. So definitely safe this month. I'm okay with those 2 prompts. I do want to see how far down the Joker was, though. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Okay, we were safe. We were safe. About a quarter of the way down. All right, let me think about what products I want to pull in, and I'll meet you right back here in a couple minutes. Well, for you, it'll be a second. For me, it'll be a couple minutes. All right, I am back, and I have picked my products. That was actually fairly easy. So we're going to start with the 8 of Diamonds. And again, this corresponds to the prompt copycats. And I really had to think about this and think about this and think about this. And the only thing that could come to mind was me remembering that Erin Taylor is project panning the Say Glowy Super Gel in the shade Star Glow. And whereas I have already gotten my 10 uses on this product this month, I am going to bring this into the project for another 10 uses, because why not? I absolutely do love this product. It is really great for me in the dead of winter. It gives me a lot of hydration, which is what I typically use it for. But you can also use this as a highlight to mix it in with your foundations. So maybe I'll try to use it differently and use it in that regard. So this is coming into the project for 10 uses. And the second card that I pulled was the Jack of Hearts, which corresponds to indie. And automatically when I think of indie, my mind goes to eyeshadows, but I wanted to challenge myself and do something a little bit different. So I found this. This is my Lethal Cosmetics. It's a liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Airwave. And I think I got this 2 years ago. I don't think I've ever used it. That is what the shade looks like. And I think this will be a beautiful shade for spring. So I need to get uses on my liquid lipsticks anyways. So I'm gonna bring this into the project for a 10 use goal as well. And that'll actually be hard for me because I really dislike using liquid lipsticks. Why I have so many of them, I can't tell you. And that's my update for Deck of Panning. If you're doing this project, please put it in the comments down below. I know that there is a playlist that Emily houses on her channel, but I know I have had issues with adding my video to the playlist. I know she is a very busy lady. She doesn't always have time to get everybody's video into the playlist. So if you are doing this project, please put it in the comments down below. I would love to come on over to your video or your Instagram and cheer you on. But that's everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. You know I always love when you do. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. That lets YouTube know that you like my content and that other people with the same interests as you will like my content too. I finally remembered my tagline. I have been so rusty with getting back into filming that I have been searching for those words and I could not remember them. So let's try another take, shall we? If you like what you see, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. That lets YouTube know that you like my content and that other people with the same interests as you will like my content too. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.